From going viral as the king of roasts to losing the respect of his own audience, today we're talking about the rise and meltdown of Packgod, the creator who built a toxic empire on Discord packing only to be destroyed by the same culture he created. We're looking at how he went from gaining millions overnight to becoming a punchline even his own fans turned against. But before we get into anything, make sure you like, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment your thoughts down below. Every bit of the support helps reach more viewers and people just like you. Now, let's get into it. Packgod essentially pioneered the term Discord packing, which is this chaotic rapid-fire insult battle built around loud delivery, fast editing, and overwhelming energy.
Just open up my brain and get on your Scream McQueen, body built like a lima bean, you shop at Sheen, you're 13, you lack basic hygiene, your teeth are gapped, you got a high...
His content looked like pure verbal chaos, a tornado of nonsense meant to smother his opponent before they could react. To Packgod, it didn't really matter whether the roast made sense. The style was the product and somehow it worked. His format attracted millions of middle school age fans who worshiped the intensity, treating Packgod like the final boss of roasting. Within 2 years, he skyrocketed to over 5 million subscribers, with viewers hyping up every upload and praising him as one of the funniest creators on the platform. A huge part of that growth came primarily from him targeting controversial internet figures. Clips of Packgod roasting people like Sneeko or EDP445 spread everywhere.
Look at your haircut, boy. You got a Plants vs. Zombies map on your head. You ugly as shut your nasty. You got that chia haircut, boy. Nah, for real though. You really thought I wasn't gonna get to the Pacquiao nasty ass boy. You about dirty. You like Barack Obama's autistic cousin. Wataka no Hama dumbass boy. You ugly. Shut your ugly. EDP. You know, I'm actually kind of glad you don't know who I am. Hey yo, EDP, Edward Dickle Pants. Tell me why your ears are in the nether, your eyebrows are on max brightness, and your neck is an incognito mode, boy. You like the Muffin Man's drug dealer, boy. You got a level 6 diglet sticking out the top of your head, boy. You look, you got baptized in a chum bucket, your mama used Bakugan's anal beans, you lost your virginity to an armadillo on a trampoline in midair. Hey yo, shut your Indian cricket, ribbon, spinner, fidget, stupid ninja, Genji, main, mega brain, grandpa beat you with a cane.
Not because the insults were clever, but because they were loud, chaotic, and came packaged with his own recognizable editing style. These viral interactions built his reputation as the fearless, unstoppable roaster. But beneath all the hype was a much darker problem. Packgod wasn't just making roast videos, he was encouraging mob behavior. Fans weren't just watching, they were actively cheering him on to harass the people he targeted. And over time, that toxic culture would become the same thing that destroyed him. In reality, the downfall didn't really begin with the cringy content that he made. It began with Leg, the person who helped Packgod build his channel from the ground up. Packgod and Leg started working together around 2020. For 2 years, the partnership looked strong, until everything collapsed overnight. What fans now call the Leg betrayal, Packgod suddenly lost access to their shared channels, Discord accounts, social media, and revenue streams. After that, he was completely cut off. Accounts, passwords, payments, and everything. This ignited a massive public feud.
I just want to talk to you man to man. I did not want to have to go about this way, but you genuinely leave me with no other choice since you blocked my number, removed me as a friend on Discord, and deplatformed me from every single account that I had spent the last 3 years growing and busting my ass off for. You changed the password on the Instagram and kicked me off it. You changed the password on our Twitter and kicked me off it. You changed the password on our SoundCloud and kicked me off it. You changed the password on our Spotify and kicked me off it. A Spotify in which you're getting paid every single month for the music that I made.
Packgod accused Leg of sabotaging the business, trying to sell channels behind his back, and ghosting editors who were owed money. But then Leg hit back with accusations of his own, claiming Packgod refused to pay editors and took credit for the work he didn't do. Suddenly, the guy accusing others of stealing money was being accused of stealing from his own team all along. Things escalated even further when Packgod claimed Leg's friends had swatted his home, turning the online feud into something dangerous and real. Packgod even dropped a diss track about Leg, turning this personal drama into entertainment for millions. Fan bases split. Trauma channels documented every detail. But despite the chaos, Packgod rebuilt. New Discord, new channel, new audience, and he hit over 5 million subscribers all over again. But the very core problem of the situation, he never fixed the foundation. Packgod framed his content as raw, chaotic, unfiltered roast battles, but behind the scenes it was partly scripted, prearranged, and edited to create the illusion of spontaneous reactions. Videos recorded in the middle of the day were styled to look like 3 a.m. insanity. Moments that seemed organic were set up. Roasts that seemed off the cuff were prepped in advance. And once this truth got out, it destroyed a huge piece of his brand. Creators began dissecting his videos, showing awkward raw moments that didn't make the final cut, and exposing how manufactured the reactions were. Fans started to feel misled, like the authenticity they thought they were watching never actually existed. Now, Packgod tried to protect himself by labeling his videos as for entertainment purposes only, but the reality was much more complicated than that. His targets were often small creators, teenagers, or people who didn't fully realize they were about to be roasted in front of millions. And even worse, Packgod frequently linked their social media platforms in his description. He claimed this was giving them exposure or that targets requested it, but the power dynamic says otherwise. His fans were mostly young and aggressively loyal, and sending thousands of people to someone's Instagram or Discord after roasting them created predictable harassment. Viewers started questioning whether Packgod was genuinely helping people or using them as content props. By 2024, Packgod's fanbase, once his biggest weapon, had become one of the most hated communities online. His comment sections was filled with misogyny, recycled roasts, and aggressive copycat behavior. The term average Packgod fan became an insult in itself, a stereotype of a loud, immature kid trying and failing to imitate Packgod's style. Former fans of Packgod began distancing themselves, embarrassed to admit that they ever even enjoyed the content in the first place. Even worse, Packgod's roasts themselves started to get mocked. What used to feel sharp now looked like random word salad, loud noise with no substance.
Jack, I'm f***ing tired. You know what I'm f***ing tired of, Jack? I'll tell you what I'm tired of, Jack. I'm tired of your content.
The internet turned on him, his fans turned on him, and then came the final blow. During a stream with Low Tier Guy, a joke about Packgod's height spiraled into a meme that no amount of damage control could stop.
I heard you were 5'1", bro.
I don't know where you got that information from, but I think you're horribly mistaken.
Somebody said he was 5'1". Is that true?
No, I already told you how tall I
Bro,
am,
let me look this dude up.
The internet latched onto it instantly. TikTok ran with it, YouTube ran with it, and even Twitter ran with it. Suddenly, Packgod, the self-proclaimed king of roasting, became the joke. People called him cringe, corny, washed, and embarrassing. His own tactics were used against him, and he had no defense. By early 2025, his subscriber count froze, his engagement cratered, and his income, once tens of thousands of dollars a month, collapsed into barely a fraction of what it used to be. Packgod legitimately became the perfect example of a painful truth. When you teach an audience that harassment is content, don't be surprised when they turn that harassment onto you. Now, if you want to go even deeper into the world of creators who built their entire careers off chaotic energy and ended up falling apart because of it, you need to watch my full breakdown on Ray Asian Boy, a story that exposes how far internet personalities will go for attention, and how quickly everything can collapse when an audience finally snaps. It's on the left-hand side of your screen. Click it right now. It ties perfectly into what we talked about today, and if you haven't seen it yet, you're missing another huge piece of the bigger picture. Make sure to like, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment telling me which creator's downfall or controversy you want me to cover next. Your support genuinely helps the channel grow, and I appreciate every single one of you. Love y'all, and have a good day.